You know how many of us end up standing over a pile of half-finished laundry, trying to juggle a noisy front-load washer on one side and a clunky dryer on the other? If you've ever felt that the whole point of buying a new appliance was to finally get rid of that daily hassle only to be faced with an intimidating stack of specs and a fear of picking the wrong size, the wrong power draw, or the wrong footprint, then you're exactly the person I'm talking to right now. You want something that just works, fits your space, and proves itself worth the price tag, not a contraption that looks impressive on paper but becomes a daily annoyance. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That's why I'm spending the next few minutes walking through the LG WKE100HWA WashTower. It's a stacked washer-dryer unit marketed as the all-in-one solution for families that need capacity. It's got a sleek white finish, and it promises smart electric operation. I've been looking at a handful of reviews, digging through the spec sheets, and comparing it to the typical side-by-side setup and separate stack units. What I've found are the practical trade-offs you don't see in the glossy marketing video, and I want to lay them out so you can decide if this is the right fit for your home. First off, the biggest question most people ask is whether the vertical stack actually saves you space in a real kitchen or laundry room. The WashTower stands about 55 inches tall when the dryer door is open, which means you need a clearance that allows the doors to swing fully without hitting a wall or a cabinet. In a typical apartment or a modest-sized laundry nook, that clearance can be a real limiting factor. If you have a tight corridor or low ceiling, you'll need to measure twice before committing. On the flip side, if you have the vertical space, think a dedicated closet or a bathroom with a high ceiling, this unit can replace two separate appliances, freeing up about a foot of width, which is a noticeable win when you're trying to keep the rest of the room neat. Now, let's talk about the electric operation. LG's decision to go electric instead of a gas drying option means you won't have to worry about gas hookups, which is a relief for renters or anyone who doesn't want to deal with venting issues. The dryer uses a heat pump style system that is much more energy efficient than traditional electric dryers. In practice, that translates to lower monthly electricity bills, but you'll notice the trade-off in drying time. A full-size load, especially heavy items like towels or jeans, can take 45 minutes to an hour to dry, longer than the typical 30-minute cycle you might see on a gas dryer. If you're in a rush and need clothes dry in a pinch, you may find yourself running a second, shorter cycle or planning ahead and starting laundry earlier in the evening. Capacity is another headline feature. The front-load washer offers 4.5 cubic feet, while the dryer gives you 7.4 cubic feet. That combination is genuinely useful for families of 3 or 4 who do bigger loads less often. I've seen people mention that the larger dryer drum allows you to tumble dry bulky items like comforters in one go, which would otherwise require you to split the load into 2 cycles. The washer's capacity, while not massive, is still enough to handle a decent weekend load of bedding or a mix of clothing. The key here is to load the washer efficiently. Overstuffing will reduce cleaning performance, and an underfilled dryer will waste energy. Smart connectivity is a nice touch but not a deal-breaker. The unit syncs with LG's ThinQ app, so you can start a wash from your phone, get notifications when a cycle finishes, and even run diagnostic checks. In real life, the app works well if you're already comfortable with your smartphone, but for anyone who prefers a purely manual control, the extra buttons on the machine's central console are straightforward enough. The smart part becomes more valuable if you have a busy schedule and appreciate the ability to delay a start or get an alert when the dryer cycle ends, so you can fold clothes right away instead of letting them sit. What about noise? Front-load washers are generally quieter than top-load models, and the WashTower is no exception. In a typical open-plan living area, you'll hear a soft hum during the wash, and the dryer's heat pump system is quieter than a conventional electric dryer. If you have young children napping in the same room, the noise level should be low enough to avoid disturbance. That said, the unit does make a soft rumble during the spin cycle, nothing alarming, but worth noting if you're highly sensitive to vibration. Now, who should consider buying this piece? If you live in a small home, an apartment, or a condo where floor space is at a premium, the WashTower's stacked design can be a real space-saving hero, provided you have the vertical clearance. It's best for households